If you want to put a Pentium PC on your desk right now, you can get a Gateway 2000 for under $4,000. Here to show us how the Gateway 2000 Pentium PC works is Russ Graham of Gateway 2000. Russ, first of all, what about the price? I know the one we're going to look at now is about $3,900. How cheap can you get into a Pentium PC right now?
The lowest price product we have right now is $29.95. It's a fully configured system with 8 megabytes of memory, 424 meg hard drive, 256K cache, 2x CD-ROM, sound card, etc.
$2,900.
Correct.
Okay, the one we have here is about $4,000. And first of all, let's go through, and I know you just have a preset demo here because there's so many different things we could do. We were talking before about what kinds of applications the Pentium power is really worth it, and run through some of the environments, some of the applications in which you really need this kind of speed.
Okay. What I think is really beautiful about the Pentium is that the product itself can run all of the software that's been available out in the market today. And then you have the very high-end applications that it has a built-in power for. So for things such as 3D modeling, CAD type of work, we've got Photoshop and photo editing, where you can take pictures that are digitized, manipulate them, change them.
So anything that's really computation processing intensive, like graphics work, obviously.
Right. And the 32-bit operating environments of the future, where they're very graphic-orientated, where they're very, like you said, computational-orientated. The Pentium will really be able to tap into the ability to run those. Okay,
now on your Gateway Pentium machine, obviously the chip is just one part of the process. I mean, to really get good performance, you've got to do a lot more inside there besides just replace the CPU. What else is in this Gateway that gives you that kind of fast performance?
I think one of the most exciting things is the local bus video that we have in there. It's based on the PCI standard. You can put hard drives on that local bus, you can put video, network cards, etc. That's what really increases the speed. So instead of going out to the ISA bus, you're doing it locally with the memory and the CPU subsystem. The 64-bit data bus that goes from the CPU over to the memory is extremely fast and allows you to write information and get information from memory, compute it quickly, and spit it out.
So you're saying you really do take advantage of the 64-bit processor now?
Absolutely.
Even though there's not a lot of software that's really taking advantage.
Well, it's for the memory subsystem, so it definitely takes advantage of it.
So you're still moving data a lot faster inside the machine.
Absolutely.
How about a quick tour? This is a tower model, the P560 we're looking at, and just show us the configuration here.
Well, the configuration of this machine, it's the $39.95 machine, has 16 megabytes of memory, 256K of cache, has a 528 megabyte hard drive, has a 16-bit sound card, 2x CD-ROM, the 17-inch crystal scan monitor.
Okay, and again, asking the question I asked Ken at the very beginning, I guess you're selling computers, so I guess I know the answer, but really, is this the right time to go buy one of these things? Prices are clearly going to come down a little bit when there's a greater supply of Pentium chips around.
I think one of the exciting things about the Pentium is, unlike previous processors that were very high priced when they first came out, this has been putting a lot of pressure down on the standard products out there right now. So I think it is a pretty good time to buy it, but it definitely depends upon your applications. The more intensive your application is, or the more applications you're doing simultaneously, the better results you're going to get from a Pentium product.
Russ, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
All right, one of the potential problems with a chip that has over 3 million transistors on it is heat generation. We visited the PC Week labs to find out about the heat problem, and here's that report.
PC Week Labs has run extensive tests on all of the existing Pentium-based hardware. They discovered that heat generation was a problem during beta testing, but since the addition of cooling fans, Lab Director Jim Louderback says all the systems are performing quite well.
They've got cooling fins on them, kind of like a Cadillac, 3 or 4 different fans. There's one machine, the HP back here, actually has the cooling fins, and then it has a fan sitting on top of the cooling fins, a tiny little fan. So the designs on the server seem to be pretty well done, and they have to be. You know, 3 or 4 fans are pretty much de rigueur with all the hardware that's inside of them.
A fan card is a must-have for a Pentium upgrade, but the PC Week testers say you're probably better off buying a Pentium system outright.
The Pentium requires much more air going over it because it's a much hotter chip than the 46. If the system isn't built correctly, you put a Pentium in, and it heats up the system, and your system dies. Probably not a good idea.
Louderback says most people don't need all of Pentium's power on the desktop, but servers are another story.
The HP Net server that I have behind me actually has been the best uniprocessor Pentium performer that we've seen. It did incredibly well on our SQL Server results running under NetWare, running as an NLM, because it's got a very fast channel, a very fast I/O, and it's got a very good disk controller that hooks up to multiple different disks. So that's a good box. They're all good boxes, and the multiprocessor ones are more expensive, but when you need the power, even a single Pentium isn't going to do it, so throw 3, 4, 5 Pentiums at it.
Evaluations have been done on virtually all of the Pentium systems available. However, the lab is waiting for IBM to release its microchannel production line.
It looks like it's going to be a real screamer, too, from the beta machines that we've looked at. IBM also, in their Ambra line, has a 2 Pentium server that we're just starting to take a look at. So no results there yet. We've looked at an NEC server that did real well. We've looked at Zenith, a couple of Zenith boxes that they were all right. They were kind of mid-level. They weren't as expensive, but they performed adequately. And we looked at a couple of ALR machines that were all right as well.
For the Computer Chronicles, I'm Jonelle Patterson.